Hey everybody, welcome to another AI Fuzz video, and today we're going to be continuing the ComfyUI Basics tutorials. If you watched the last video, we covered a workflow on text-to-image, creating a text-to-image workflow in ComfyUI. So today we're going to be doing an image-to-image. So basically taking an image and changing some parameters and loading it up through ComfyUI's nodes and spitting out a different image. So this is also a workflow for Stable Diffusion and several other AI tools. So ComfyUI is this. If you don't know what ComfyUI is, I'll have a video about that you can check back. But it's basically an AI tool that works similar to Automatic 1111, which is based on Stable Diffusion. I just think ComfyUI is the best out of everything because it gives you so many options for your image. You have control over your image as opposed to just typing in a prompt, say in Midjourney, and kind of hoping that AI will spit out an image that you like. Here you can control that. So this is a blank workspace, and we are going to start from scratch a workflow for image to image. Okay, so if you followed along, it might be better if you watch these videos in succession. That way we're going to be going over some things that you've known before. So the first thing we're going to do is load a checkpoint. And if you know from my other video, that is loading a model or a checkpoint. Okay? So this is the node. I call them little ovens. This is where you put your raw dough here, and it does stuff, and then it gets spit out through a pipe to the next oven. So what it does here, it gets the base model. You pick out the base model you want for this. So let's do another. I don't know, what should we do? Let's do a Hello Mecha. That's a SD 1.5 model. I think that's a mech. It's going to create a mecha something, but that's fine. Okay, so from here, since we're doing image to image, we need a way to load your image, right? So this is where I introduced you guys to a new node, which is load image. So search for load image, and it's right here. And here is your image. It's also going to load in whatever you had last, I'm assuming. And if you notice, this oven doesn't have any inputs because it's a starter. And it has two outputs, image and mask. Ooh. So we will see where those get connected later. But now let's open up an image for this. So you hit click to upload. And I will go to find an image. Let's see. All right, let's try this one. Okay, some image of a lady with a flower shirt. AI created this one in another tutorial, but we can use that. Okay, so next, let's get these outputs all connected. So if you remember from the last video, the next would be your positive and negative prompts. So you would go from clip, out here, and then you would go to clip text and code there. And then you would clone this by right click and clone. And then hook up that. This will be the positive. I change the color, and this will be the negative. And again, you can also change the name of any node by right clicking and hitting title, and it'll let you change that. See? Okay. So we have those done. You're looking, is there any image and mask stuff? Not yet, but we'll get to there. So let's just type a quick, let's just put female mech warrior standing, standing on battlefield, clouds and smoke all around. All right, I'll just keep it like that. What did we choose? Oh yeah, we choose the mech one. And the negative we'll do ugly, deformed, bad hands. And I spelled that wrong again. Gee, I cannot spell that name. All right, that's good enough for this demonstration. So from the clip, if you remember, this would go to the big node, the K sampler right here. So we go into positive and go into negative. And if you remember, this also takes the model pipe from the original checkpoint. You bring that over, connect it there, and all we have left is a latent image, which we don't have any outputs here or here, so we have to look for an empty latent. Oop. Right there. And if you remember, the latent was, to sum it up, latent is, helps you determine the size of your image. And right now it's 512 by 512. We're going to do 768 by 768. And let's do, remember, batch size would be how many options or how many you want ComfyUI to generate. And we are going to choose 4. Okay. So this latent would go connect to this latent here. Okay. Now here, look, you have all these different options again. The seed is basically the look of the image. If you want to keep it randomized, steps would be the steps, how many steps it takes to generate. CFG, we'll keep it 8. Let's change the sampler name to this one. And let's change this to Karas, and we'll keep the denoise at 1. All right, so everything's connected so far. Then you push this out. Oops, I'm sorry, to the VAE decode. Okay, so now let's leave that right here for now, and let's get back to the image, because the image is all lonely here. It doesn't know when it's going to be able to get in the process and the workflow, and it's like, what are you doing with me? So let's see. Image would come out to a next node, which would be called an VAE encode. See that? So it's going to encode this image into something that we can connect here. The mask you're not going to use right now because we're not doing any masking. We will in the future. Masking is a very powerful tool. We'll go through that later because there's so much you can do here. So if you see the encode node, right, you see a VAE input, and you're like, oh. So let's stick that VAE input. All right, well, no, let's keep it out of there, because you can actually put it here and have it come out there, but we're going to keep the VAE back here. Don't think there's a difference, but just to keep things the same. And the latent image would go into here, the pink. And it's okay if you have 2 in there. Because doing it this way will just inherit the size of your image. If you wanted a certain image, because here you can set it, you would have to do an upscale here to change the finalized size. So I'll show you. If you wanted to rescale this to be a certain size, then this would have to go into a latent upscale you can use. So what this does, it's going to set the size of the final. So the 768 by 768 right there. It's going to be different. Nearest exact is probably the best. And then this would connect to the K sampler latent image. So let's do that. Right there, and it takes over, see? So we have go image to the VAE encode into the latent upscaler all the way back into the latent image of K sampler. So now the image is in the workflow, so it's ready to go. So now we have the VAE decode, and I am going to grab that VAE from the model. There. And from here you would do image to save image is what I use. And then make this a little bit bigger. 2. So that workflow is done. You have an image to image workflow. So let's hit Q prompt so that it'll go through the workflow and start it off and see what we come up with. Oh, I did this on purpose. No VAE right here. So if you have a pipe missing, it'll tell you what node it's missing or what node it's missing from, and it's also circle the what's connection it's missing. So I was right. I mean, I was wrong earlier, but you would load the VAE from the model to here. And it's okay because it still goes to the other VAE too. So now let's hit Q prompt, and it should be able to go through all. Okay guys, it's finished, and we have a final image right here, and it's pretty decent. It's a female mech warrior standing in front of, it looks like a wrecked mech. Probably hers. Maybe she got beat in battle, but it's pretty cool. I like the image. Details are not really there, but you can always play around with the prompts. But that's it. So you can save it from here, copy it, whatever, or you can open it up. That way you can save it from there. So if you guys like this video, I'm going to be making more ComfyUI basic tutorials. This covered the image to image workflow, and you can actually save this workflow by hitting save and naming it something, and then you can share it or you can load it back in later on if you wanted to work on some more. And once it's already created and saved, you have that workflow forever. So now you don't have to do all this hard work again building it from scratch. You can just use it whenever you want to. So comment, like, and subscribe. I have a Patreon as well, just to kind of support me, because it takes a little while for me to do these, and I'm going through a lot of crap right now in my life, and you guys and AI is kind of what's keeping me grounded and keeping me happy right now. So hopefully we can all get together and talk more about it. So I'll see you guys later, AI Fuzz. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.